Hello, Justin Leeper here again. Justin's Leap to the Past. Same place, same time, basically. A little less shiny lips. I just gotten out of the shower and I put some lipstick on, and also took away the ab wheel from the side there. Uh, my wife uses this every day, and her abs are amazing. So it's like an oldie, but definitely a goodie. If you're looking to build some abs and you're not fat already, this will do the trick. You can get these anywhere. So more in-ring stories. Okay, that last one went really quick. So let's talk about some of my best friends in the wrestling business, and one of them is my best friend in life, Austin Aries. He and I grew up together, came into the wrestling business together. I actually got him into wrestling as I was in camp, maybe a month and a half, and it took him, of course, no time to catch up because he's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal wrestler. And some of my best matches were with him. Some of my hardest hitting matches were with him. And one of my biggest injuries, though, happened wrestling him. And he and I had both taken some time off. I had dropped the Helmut von Strauss gimmick where I was bald headed with a beard and I was looking a little bit more normal, except I had like purple-ish hair at the time. And he had gotten over a little injury too. So we were kind of making our comeback, and this was a half kickboxing, half pro wrestling show. And I went from being Helmut von Strauss to Justin Violent Lee. Maybe I was just Justin Lee there, but maybe the Violent came later. But we had a match, and a couple, not too far. I mean, within 5 minutes of that match starting, he was going to do his tornado plancha, whatever you want to call it, to the outside, and he had never done that in a match before, so it was kind of a first. But I mean, he and I think we were still roommates at the time. We would, we would beat each other up in a way that most people wouldn't because we were so close. Um, but I was so he springs out of the ring towards me on the floor. I'm standing a little too close. Maybe his adrenaline didn't he didn't compensate for his adrenaline so much, but he hits me really high, so I'm not able to kind of collapse. Instead, I just kind of topple back and topple back too far to land on the mat, which was around my butt area. So I hit the back of my head on the hard, not concrete, but like a gymnasium floor. Essentially, it was an armory, I think. Um, and I was like, okay, damn, I'm hurt. And he was probably like, okay, damn, he's hurt. And I kind of laid on the ground and tried to get my wits about me. Aries was kind of stalling for time to give me a chance to recover. We went through. We finished up our match. It was probably the best match I was ever part of. I think that got like the in our little area's newsletter, maybe the runner-up for match of the year or something. Um, and a lot of that, of course, is him being so good and helping me through a match. But really, it wasn't too complicated. It was, him do cool moves on me and me kick him a lot. That's what we did. And I remember afterwards, I was still a little rough, especially when the adrenaline wore off. But I remember somebody saying, like two kickboxers were in the dressing room talking, and one of them said, "Yeah, so what do you think about that wrestling stuff?" And the other guy goes, "Well, I kind of thought it was fake, but the way that the blue-haired guy kicked the other guy, you can't fake that." And it's true because I used to kick Aries really hard, and most people really hard. But yeah, so that was a good match, and I will leave a link below to the actual incident of me smacking my head, so you can watch that if you want to. I don't know. Well, it's different for me because I lived it, so I'm probably a little more sensitive to it than you are. Another good friend of mine in the wrestling business who started around the same time as I did is Sean Davari, who was Davari in WWE for quite a while and had a good career in TNA and stuff. And he was the victim of a lot of my stiff kicks too. So there was a tag match, me and Aries against Davari and Big Daddy Hoofer in a pretty big promotion in the Midwest in Minnesota, St. Paul Championship Wrestling, Steel Domain Wrestling. It had gone by both names. But it was one of the only times I teamed with Aries. But I was in there with Davari, and I remember I kind of, did my normal kick stuff, but I also did the springboard drop kick, and I got him pretty hard, and I went to cover him, and he whispered to me, "You stiff me again, I'm going to kick your ass." And he kicked out with the biggest, strongest, most powerful, like Hulk Hogan kick out you can imagine because he was mad. And I remember he got me pretty good on another thing. Like I had him in some hold and he reversed it and kicked and got me in the mouth. But man, he was mad. I mean, of course, afterwards we were buddy buddy and everything. But yeah, it was just funny him saying, "You stiff me again, I'm gonna beat your ass." And he was not a huge guy at the time, but like he was mad. Um, another Sean Devari story. We were wrestling a match for MIW, probably for my cruiserweight championship at the time, and man, he gives me a snapmare, so I'm kind of sitting on the ground like this, and he kicks me in the back, and that's something that I used to do a lot. A lot of people do, but I think he knows that I kick hard, so he can kick hard, and he kicked me in the back so hard that when I drove after the show, drove like an hour and a half home, took my shirt off, and you could see the ringlets from his boots on my spine still, because that's how hard he kicked me. And those were badges of honor back then. I mean, I didn't get upset about that whatsoever. Um, Also, me and Davari in camp, wrestling camp was what we called where we would train like 3 times a week. And when it was warm out, they'd move the ring outside, or we moved the ring outside. And I think me and Davari were working on. He wanted to work on some kind of Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn spot from their ECW feud. And actually, Jerry Lynn was at the tag match that I was telling you about a little while ago, and he was nice to me and Aries. And I think that's where Aries found out about TNA. I sounded really Canadian right there. Where Aries found out about TNA, which he went on to become their multi-time world champion. But me and Davari were working on some stuff in the ring, and it was like I go for a Mortal Kombat style leg sweep, and he jumps up and lands with like a leg drop on the back of my head. Okay, we're going it, we do it, and he lands his bony butt right on like the base of my skull. So I'm seeing neon green, like a lot of neon green highlights and everything. And he could feel what happened, and he kind of cradles me, and he's like kissing my head, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. I'm sorry." Mwah, mwah, mwah. And it was real emotion, and like it was just hilarious. Yes, it hurt, but that kind of goes with it. And we were just trying some cool stuff, experimenting like you do. Uh, so again, I hit him hard more times than he ever hit me, so it was not a problem. He actually came into wrestling camp with a guy named Jake Ricker, City Slicker Jake Ricker. And Jake was another young guy. He was tall and kind of thin and long. Real smart kid. Real respectful, nice guy. Um, he and I had a match at MPW, Midwest Pro Wrestling, in the Bloomington Armory, which is where we were running shows for a while, or doing shows for a while. And I did this thing. If you know Booker T, he did like an axe kick. Guy would be bent over, and he would kind of scissor kick his legs and bring the one down on the back, and they would fall on their face. Well, I did that too because I had a Taekwondo background. I could get that leg so high up and bring it down with some force, and it always looked pretty good. Now, Jake told me later, he was like, "Oh, I really want your axe kick to look good, so I really wanted to take a hard bump on it." Bump meaning fall. And I don't think he knew that I, I hit you hard enough anyway. You don't need to do yourself any favors landing hard to make it look good. And he knocked himself out. Like he hit so hard that he just was unconscious, like a flash knockout. And I went to roll him over and pin him. And 1, 2, he's not moving. So I kind of jostled his body to get him to look like he kicked out. So the ref didn't count 3. Because, when you're in the ring, you're like, well, this is where our finish is going to be, and that's where we have to do it. You don't really think like, oh, he's asleep right now. Maybe we should end the match right now, because that move literally knocked him out. But we didn't do that. But he ended up okay, and we had a good little match. But yeah, I think he realized like when he's wrestling me, he doesn't need to embellish his reactions to my kicks because they kind of worked for themselves. Do I sound like a really bad wrestler, like a really stiff wrestler? I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. I never wrestled me. I never complained about getting hit hard by other people, in part because I knew that karmically I had it coming. But yeah, it's been fun to relive some wrestling memories. I'll put a link, as I said, to Aries and that thing in the comments below, and see if I can dig up any other stuff. I don't have like my DVDs of all my wrestling matches or whatever, which is unfortunate. But it's fortunate that I can come and talk to you about this. So thank you for listening. Now I'm not going to record another one right now. So if you want to hear more in-ring stories, you got to throw a thumbs up or throw a comment, or tweet me or whatever. Let me know. My Twitter handle's at US. No, shoot. It's at Justin Leeper _ Yo. So you can hit me up on there. Thanks for watching. I am Justin Leeper. Yo. You leapt to the past with me, and let's do it again soon. Thanks. Bye.